how do you yourself prove you're a woman and able to access these spaces? This is where this term biological sex becomes ludicrous. How do you and other biological women prove that they are biological women? Have you ever taken a chromosome test? Have you ever proved the fact you're a woman? I have a birth certificate. I have a passport. I have a driving license. I've had various operations and surgery. I can prove that I'm a woman. Can you prove you're a woman?
But I don't need to prove I'm a woman because I'm not making... No, but women who haven't undergone any kind of gender realignment or indeed that aren't presenting as transgender women don't need to prove anything because they're not claiming that they want to use other people's spaces. But then how big is this toilet issue to you, Joanne? But, Joanne, how big is the toilet issue to you? If there's a disabled toilet...
issue.
What's this need? But what's this need, this kind of, if it's not, because this is the confusion as well. There are some transgender people who said it's not about toilets. Well, why then do you care which toilet you use?
Well, why do you care who's in your toilet then? What's the big deal about toilets? I mean, I spend my life talking about toilets. Why can't we bring the conversation into a different
I tell you why. I tell you why we worry about toilets. We worry about toilets because we worry about our daughters. Because as Kemi Badenoch herself has said, there's been a number of cases in different schools where boys who are identifying as girls have been allowed into the toilets. Toilets are seen by young girls, particularly when they've just started their periods and maybe they're wanting to discuss things with their own girlfriends. That's seen as a kind of, it's a place of sort of solace, privacy and sanctity. Badenoch has made the point that in some schools, because of this idea of letting boys who identify as girls into girls' toilets, it's put girls off from using the toilets, and some girls have ended up with urinary tract infections. That's why it's important.
Oh, I'm not saying that it's not important to some people, and I fully accept that we need to ensure that predatory men, people with nefarious motives, are kept out of spaces that are designed to be safe. I completely support that, but I am not.
Okay.
And people I know are not threats to women, threats to girls. We are not predatory. What Kemi is trying to do is use the trans argument against trans women. What about trans men? If you think about a trans masculine person who's on testosterone, their voice has deepened, they've grown a beard, they've probably lost some hair, they may be bulked up in muscle, and they're forced to use the female toilets. How are you going to feel if a trans man is in the toilet and you won't be able to distinguish whether that man is biologically male or biologically female?
But she's asking for clarity, isn't she? But she's saying if you go back to original birth certificates... No, but Joanne, sorry. If you go back to original birth certificates, you couldn't be clearer. The argument is, even if it's a tiny minority of trans-identifying men who are kind of bending the rules or maybe a threat to women and girls, if there's a tiny threat to women and girls for their safety, that trumps your feelings about using a toilet, because your feelings about using a toilet aren't a matter of life and death, are they?
How often do you carry your birth certificate with you when you're out in public, when you're using the toilet? How often do you prove that you're a woman? We're going to find that people who may be butch lesbians, people who don't conform to the gender norms, trans-masculine people, are going to be policed because of how they look, how they sound. And surely that is one of the fundamentals of the Equality Act, is not to discriminate based on how someone looks or sounds. That sounds like a backward step to me.
OK. Joanne Lockwood, thank you very... No? OK. I mean, it's been a good debate. I hope you'll agree. I appreciate your view. I disagree with your view. But that's what GB News is all about, Joanne. We respectfully disagree. And thank you very much indeed for joining us this evening.
And good luck with your birth certificate and carrying it around with you to prove you're a woman.
OK, well, I won't need to because I'm not transgender. Joanne Lockwood is the fact...
If you don't carry your birth certificate, you won't be able to prove you're a woman.
But I don't need to prove whether I'm a woman or not, because I'm not saying I want to use male-only spaces. This is the difference, Joanne.
No,
we have to leave it there for time reasons.
You're a woman. What if I doubted you're a woman? I want you to prove you're a woman. How does that work? I'm just saying this is the flaw in the argument Kemi's come up with. Every woman is going to have to prove they're a woman.
It's not, because it's not legitimate to doubt whether actual women are women because they're saying they're women. What we're doubting is whether trans women are women or whether they are men. And I'm arguing that biologically, trans women are men, regardless of what they say. OK.